Okay, this is one of them videos where I'm probably going to offer my usually disingenuous disclaimer that this video shouldn't be that long. Matter of fact, I know it can't be too long because I have to run an errand in about 45 minutes. Now, here's the interesting thing about my last video that was pleasantly surprising. Now, as you know, a lot of the videos I do, going all the way back to probably summer of 2017, tend to provoke at least at minimum a small degree of haterade. Guys who criticize the commentary of that video, or if not the commentary of the video, they criticize me and write negative comments about me and whatever. And like definitely over the last year and a half, there's always been a small percentage of comments in my comment section that I've had to delete because it was more or less representative of haterade. My last video, which I did on Martin Luther King Day, Monday, 3 days ago, I would probably rank that video in my top 5 least hated on videos I've ever done. Real talk. That's probably in my top 5 least hated on. Like, I didn't have really anybody that wrote anything that I had to delete or wrote anything that was some type of harsh or heated disagreement with something I said in the video, or somebody just attacking me in general. All of the feedback I've received from Monday's video was either people agreeing with everything I said and generally offering me positive feedback, or some guys just had a few questions. I had a few guys, which is over half the reason I'm doing this video, is to answer a few of those questions. But yeah, I didn't really have any major haterade for that video. I can't think of any, like, one comment somebody wrote that made me say, oh man, quit hating. Usually there's at least like 5, bare minimum 5 to 10 comments in my comment section where I'm like, basically like, dude, quit hating. I didn't receive any of those after Monday's video. But I did receive a few questions. I'm not going to address all of them, but I'm going to address a few of them related to my 4 archetypes of men that I covered in that video, which again, and I cover these in at least, 3 of my books. My 4 archetypes of men, which is what I call the total alpha male. Then there's a second group of men that I call alpha beta hybrids. And within that category, there's 2 subcategories, which is an alpha male with beta traits and a beta male with alpha traits. And finally, the total beta male. Now, one response I got that was not so much a question, but more of a comment, was related to a video I did just about 2 weeks ago. Remember I did a video where I was addressing this new popular phenomenon known as, for black men, specifically known as SYSBM, which stands for Save Yourselves Black Men. And I did a video in regards to that. And one of the points I made in that video is that I said, there's really no point in a man calling himself MGTOW or IPMOR or SYSBM or any other similar movement or mindset or philosophy if you're essentially a total beta male type. If you're a guy that women treat essentially like you're invisible. You're the type of guy that gets rejected on a regular basis, ignored on a regular basis. And at the best, when you're a total beta male, the best scenario you could hope for is to be either a woman's purely platonic friend or a woman's cuckold. The masochistic cuckold. Subservient and masochistic cuckold. That's the best scenario for a total beta male. is either be a woman's purely platonic friend with no chance of dating her or fucking her, or to be a woman's masochistic cuckold, like what's known as a BDSM or polyamorous cuckold, which basically means essentially you're a woman's platonic husband or platonic fiance or platonic boyfriend. You were like, a lot of guys who are not familiar with the world of BDSM or polyamory, there are women who are married to guys or in relationship with guys that they never ever have intercourse with. That those guys might be able to lick their pussy, but as far as intercourse, those guys don't get to have intercourse with their wives or fiancés or girlfriends. That's what a cuckold is. Like when you're a BDSM cuckold, you don't get to have intercourse with your wife, fiancé, or girlfriend. You might get to perform oral sex on her, but when it comes to intercourse, she's going to have sex with what's known as a bull, a guy who's a bull, which would be usually a total alpha male, a bull. So the number one comment that was made was that, Alan, after listening to you talk about the 4 archetypes, I just realized that if you're a guy that's in the total beta male category, it's really of no benefit to you to join the MGTOW movement, or black guys were like, it's no point in being SYSBM. And this is the point I made in my video roughly 2 weeks ago. I said, there is no point in trying to ignore women if you're already being consistently ignored by women. There's no point. There's no benefit. It really isn't. If women don't want your sexual companionship, if women, for the most part, don't want your regular, non-sexual companionship, and they don't want access to your financial resources or material possessions, if they don't want any one of those 3 things, for you to make this big deal publicly that you're going to ignore women and you're not going to marry them, you're not going to date them, and in some cases you're not going to even have sex with them, you're wasting your breath. Because you're not going to be able to do those things anyway. And a lot of guys, there were at least quite a few guys who didn't really get that until they saw my last video on Monday. Yeah, when you're in the total beta male archetype category, you're ignored by women anyway, which is why a lot of men become bitter towards women, become resentful towards women, become just misogynistically hateful towards women. And why a lot of them, at least a small percentage of them, will even go as far as to develop homicidal and or suicidal tendencies. Because they know deep down women don't want them. They don't. So again, without going on too much, because I want to keep this short, yeah, when you're in the total beta male category, see, the other 3 categories have both pluses and minuses, pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses. The one category that's pretty much nothing but weaknesses is total beta male. When you're in the total beta male category, that means in at least minimum 3 areas you are deficient. Number 1, in the area of your looks and physical appearance, usually something's wrong with you when you're in the total beta male category. That's the number 1 area where I would say something is usually wrong with you. Yeah, you have at best an average physical appearance, but more often than not, you have what most women would consider a less than average level of physical attractiveness. So that's number 1. It may be because you're significantly overweight, you're significantly underweight, or just something about your facial features is just unappealing to women. Something about your facial features or something about your physique, women find sexually unappealing. So that's the first challenge and obstacle for a man in the total beta male category, is usually something about his physical appearance is considered by most women to be unappealing. Number 2, just as important, if not probably even slightly more important than the looks issue, is your overall social skills and conversation skills. You have poor social skills. Most guys who are total beta males have poor social skills. Not only, as I talked about in Monday's video, not only exclusively with women, but I would say generally speaking, both with men and women. Like a lot of guys who are in the total beta male category, don't really socialize that much with other men. A lot of them are loners. In their real life, they're loners. They don't really, they don't have like a group of male friends that they hook up with every weekend or every other weekend. Probably the most they interact with men would probably be, honestly, on the internet. Would be on the internet and the various social media platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, message boards, discussion forums. But in their real life, when it comes to like face-to-face interactions, the vast majority of total beta males do not have a high number of friends. I would say probably 3/4 of them, if not more, are loner types. They just basically keep to themselves. And one reason why is because their social skills are so poor. They have exceptionally, just almost horrible social skills and conversation skills. They don't know how to maintain a conversation with women at all, other than to talk about just basically like kind of silly or trivial bullshit. They're intimidated by men who are very masculine, very athletic, very dominant, because typically a lot of total beta males were bullied when they were either a child, a preteen, a teenager, or a young adult. They were bullied by usually bigger, stronger men. And their social skills are just horrible. And then the third and final category is usually has to do with their level of career success and financial success. A lot of total beta males are broke, unemployed, or erratically employed, or if they have a job, it's usually like a basic job. And at best, they earn maybe an average level of income. Might be anywhere from, 20 grand a year to maybe 40 grand a year. In some cases, a little bit more. But yeah, they don't have the looks, social skills, or a level of income to upgrade to a beta male with alpha traits. That's what prevents them from being in the category of the beta male with alpha traits. It's usually some related, it's one or more of these three things. Usually some related to their looks, some related to their just almost horrible social skills, interpersonal communication skills, which is my specialty, interpersonal relations, interpersonal communication, and their job status or income status. There's really, again, for the most part, there's really no upside to being a total beta male. The other three archetypes have both an upside and a downside. Total beta males don't have an upside. They're pretty much fucked. When it comes to their love life, sex life, and overall social life, total beta males are pretty much fucked unless they just totally immerse themselves into activities that center on self-improvement and personal development. That's the only glimmer of light and hope for a total beta male. They got to literally just dedicate themselves to various facets of self-improvement and personal development. Self-improvement and personal development when it comes to their looks, when it comes to improving something about their looks. It could be losing weight, gaining weight, improving their grooming, their hygiene, the way they dress. They need to improve in that area. They need to definitely improve in the area of their conversation skills, their interpersonal relations, interpersonal communication skills. And they need almost therapy, something bordering on therapy to overcome a lot of their past traumas. Their past traumas, such as a dysfunctional relationship with their mother, a highly dysfunctional relationship with their father, getting bullied, messed around with a woman that left them bankrupt, something. They got some type of major past trauma that they need to really overcome. So the formula for total beta males, they got to immerse themselves in activities related to self-improvement and personal development. Questions related to the beta male with alpha traits. And I got some feedback and a couple questions related to that archetype. Well, one of the responses I got from a lot of men, they said, a lot of men wrote me and said, Alan, thank you for clearing up this misinterpretation that being an alpha male is 100% desirable and being a beta male is 100% undesirable. Because when you discuss the beta male with alpha traits, it made me realize that it's not totally a bad thing to be a beta male with alpha traits. It might not be the most ideal archetype, but it's not a totally undesirable archetype. And that's true. Matter of fact, if you notice, I said that's the highest percentage of men. I put it like this. Again, I'm simplifying a lot of things for the purpose of time. When it comes to attracting a woman to be your wife, fiance, long-term girlfriend, a man who's a beta male with alpha traits will many times have just as much success, if not sometimes slightly more success, than a man that's an alpha male with beta traits. And so a lot of men don't realize that. You know, a lot of men on social media and on YouTube, they use beta as like an insult. Like, you know, when they want to, you know, attack a guy or insult a guy, they'll say, oh man, you're nothing but a beta male. You're a beta male. You're a beta male simp. You're a beta male cuckold. No. When you're a beta male with alpha traits, again, when it comes to marriage, attracting women for marriage and long-term romantic relationships, you're typically going to have just as much success, if not sometimes slightly more success, than a guy who's, say, an alpha male with beta traits, or definitely a total alpha male. Definitely more than a total alpha male. Because usually when you're a beta male with alpha traits, the upside of being a beta male with alpha traits, just about most guys in that category have a high degree of career success, high degree of academic, formal education and academic achievement, a high degree of financial success, social status, power and influence. In terms of those things, they got a lot of things going for them. Their main weakness is that they're really not naturally seductive. They're not naturally seductive. That if they have at least one weakness, that would be it. They're not naturally seductive. And put another way, they struggle more so in the area of casual sex. That's where beta males with alpha traits struggle, is when it comes to getting women to have engage in episodes of short-term, non-monogamous, casual sex without them spending any money. When they want casual sex, or non-monogamous sex, if they want short-term non-monogamous sex, they're going to have to resort to tricking. When they want long-term non-monogamous sex, they're going to have to resort to becoming a woman's sugar daddy. So if you're in the beta male with alpha traits category, the main time you're going to be challenged is if you have a strong desire for some type of non-monogamous sex. Again, if your interest is short-term non-monogamous sex, you're going to typically have to resort to tricking. If your desire is more longer-term non-monogamous sex, you're going to have to be a sugar daddy. If you're a beta male with alpha traits, you're not going to be able to get short-term non-monogamous sex or long-term non-monogamous sex for free. 99% of the time, you're not going to be able to get those for free unless it's a woman that's like unattractive, like a woman on a scale from 1 to 10 that's maybe like a 3 or a 4, maybe in some cases a 5. But if you're talking about 6 and above, you ain't going to get casual sex for free. You're not going to do it. You're not going to get non-monogamous sex for free when you're a beta male with alpha traits. Secondary weakness of beta males with alpha traits relates to the pills you've heard me talk about and some other people in the manosphere talking about. Red pill, blue pill, purple pill, black pill. A lot of guys who are beta males with alpha traits tend to, when they're young, and even sometimes when they're older, they tend to be very naive when it comes to women's true nature. They tend to be very naive about women's manipulative nature, women's materialistic nature, and women's sexually duplicitous nature. They tend to be very, very, as your highest percentage of guys that are going to tend to be very naive and ignorant to the true nature of women. And because of that, a lot of women are going to be able to take advantage of them, either exploit them and use them for their non-sexual time, attention, and companionship, or exploit them for their financial resources and material possessions. They tend to be very naive. And because of that, they get, like, if you pay attention to the subtitle of my book, The Possibility of Sex, what does it say? The Possibility of Sex, how naive and highly lustful men get manipulated by women regularly. How naive and highly lustful men get manipulated by women regularly. Those are two types of guys that are going to tend to get manipulated the most frequently. Is guys that are just very, very naive and inexperienced with women. Guys that are very, very naive and inexperienced with women. And guys who are just very basically sexually desperate. They're desperate to have sex with women. Particularly, they're desperate to have sex with women that are 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. They're desperate to have sex with women that are 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. Those two types of guys are always going to get manipulated a lot. They're always going to get manipulated a lot. So that's the secondary major weakness of a guy who's a beta male with alpha traits. Questions and feedback I received in relation to the alpha male with beta traits. The alpha male with beta traits. Probably the number one, well, a lot of people ask me, they say, well, Alan, do alpha guys who are alpha males with beta traits, do they, how would you evaluate them in terms of their level of career success and financial success, particularly compared to, say, the beta male with alpha traits? Are they reasonably ambitious or not so much? What's the deal with the alpha betas when it comes to things related to their level of career success? Yeah, most guys who are alpha males with beta traits typically are going to have a decent job, be earning a decent income, but women don't gravitate towards them because of their level of career success or financial success. That's not why women gravitate towards them. Even if they have those things, that's not why women gravitate towards them. It's like, I would compare it to like certain entertainment industry celebrities or certain professional athletes. There's a lot of entertainment celebrities and professional athletes who have wealth and fame and social status, but a percentage of those guys, they would be able to pull women and typically have pulled women even before they accumulated those things, even before they accumulated wealth, even before they accumulated fame. Like, you take somebody like a Brad Pitt or Boris Kojo type. Brad Pitt or Boris Kojo. Those guys have wealth and fame and stuff, but even if they was just a manager at Target, they would probably pull their fair share of women. Being real, they would probably pull their fair share of women even if they were like a manager at Target, at a local Target store. So women, guys who are alpha males with beta traits, they can pull women. I mean, they could have a good job or be making a decent income, high 5 figures or 6 figures or even 7 figures, but that's not the number one reason why women gravitate towards them. The alpha male with beta traits, they are what you would call charmers. They are very, if I had to use one word to describe them, they are exceptionally charming, persuasive, and seductive. They're exceptionally charming, persuasive, and seductive. And you can almost split them into two groups in terms of their verbal communication skills. There's a percentage of alpha males with beta traits that I would say are mode 1. That are pretty straightforward. They're not into lying to women. They're not into playing games with women. But then there's another percentage of alpha males with beta traits that are liars, manipulators, the type of guy that would lie to a woman and make her believe he wants a long-term monogamous relationship when he really wants a short-term non-monogamous relationship. Type of guy that's going to cheat on his wife, his fiance, or his girlfriend. So there's a percentage, I would say at least 50% of the guys who fall in the category of alpha male or beta traits tend to be liars and manipulators. They tend to be liars and manipulators, or cheaters and adulterers. Liars, manipulators, and cheaters and adulterers. That's their biggest weakness. What else significant about the alpha male with beta traits? Yeah, again, their main thing is that their conversation skills and overall social skills are usually top notch. They're the opposite of the total beta male. Like I said, total beta males have pretty much horrible social skills and conversation skills. Alpha males with beta traits are pretty much the antithesis of that. Their social skills and conversation skills with both men and women, and particularly women, are exceptional. Again, they tend to be very charismatic, very charming, very persuasive, very seductive. And their main appeal is that they tend to attract a lot of women who want to spend time with them both sexually and non-sexually. Both sexually and non-sexually. And then finally, questions and feedback I got in relation to the total alpha male. A couple of guys asked me, they said, Alan, based on your description of the total alpha male, it seems like, I know you said that a lot of total beta males might become bitter misogynists, but wouldn't you say in their own way that total alpha males could also be arguably called misogynists, because they, based on your description, it seems like total alpha males are anti-marriage, anti-long-term relationships, and just generally don't like spending time with women non-sexually. They only want to spend time with women to be sexually satisfied. But beyond that, they don't want to really raise children. They don't want to have a wife. Wouldn't you say that's kind of misogynistic? You could argue that. Well, see, a true misogynist is someone who has a passionate hatred for women. Hatred for women. And usually that hatred comes from being denied something, being denied a woman's attention, being denied a woman's companionship, being disrespected by women, being manipulated by women. Those are the things that are going to cause you to hate women. Total alpha males would be different in that regard because they've never been really disrespected by women. They've never been manipulated by women. They definitely don't allow themselves to be manipulated by women. They've never been ignored by women. They've gotten probably rejected to one degree or another, but not enough to make them bitter about it. They just really have more so of not a hatred, but just simply a lack of interest, or you can almost say an indifference towards women's non-sexual companionship. They just really don't have no interest in that. As most people know, I was like that for a large part of my adult life. Matter of fact, almost as recently up until I met my current girlfriend, I was like that. I didn't really care for women's non-sexual companionship. And that's the MO of a total alpha male, man. They just are really only interested in women's physical and sexual companionship for the purpose of sexual satisfaction. But yes, they don't want no wife, particularly no monogamous wife. They don't really want to raise children. That's why guys in this category tend to become deadbeat dads who don't really have a relationship with their sons or daughters. They ain't interested in that shit. Matter of fact, a lot of total alpha males, like a lot of people think total alpha males are guys who operate in large groups or have hundreds, dozens, if not hundreds of friends. That's not necessarily true. Some total alpha males will be in that category, but a lot of total alpha males are loners. They're loners. They spend a lot of time by themselves. And next to spending time by themselves, they spend a lot of time with just exclusively other men. They like to hang out with their male friends. But they don't really have any platonic female friends at all. That's one of the biggest things about a total alpha male. They don't really have any purely platonic friends at all. And they just generally, yeah, they look at all women as just vessels for sexual enjoyment and satisfaction, which is why a lot of women are not interested in dating them or marrying them. Yeah, see, a lot of guys, before that video on Monday, a lot of guys admitted they had this impression that the total alpha male was kind of like the ideal man for a man to aspire to be. But a lot of men realized because of Monday's video, they were like, Alan, I don't really aspire to be a total alpha male because it sounds like a total alpha male, man. When they get older, they're going to end up probably lonely and shit. You know, once they hit their mid to late 40s or 50s, 60s, they gonna, you know, because the truth is, yeah, you can't be a prolific womanizer for life. You can't be a prolific womanizer for life. You can be a prolific trick for life. You can be a prolific sugar daddy for life, but you can't be a prolific womanizer for life. So yeah, that's the downside. You can say in simple terms, one of the downsides of being a total alpha male is similar to like a professional athlete, is just age. You know, age. But yeah, when you got a guy who's like in his 50s or 60s that has the mindset of a total alpha male, he's probably going to end up, you know, spending a lot of nights alone. So yeah, it's not really the archetype for all men to aspire to. When you're in your 20s and 30s, yeah. If you want to get a lot of pussy, a lot of casual sex pussy in your 20s and 30s, then I would say the total alpha male might be the archetype to aspire to. But not when you're in your, like, you know, mid to late 40s, 50s, 60s. No. Again, for relationships and marriage, most women are going to gravitate towards the hybrid, the two hybrid categories, the alpha male with beta traits and the beta male with alpha traits. Total beta males are kind of the outliers on the negative end, and even total alpha males are somewhat of outliers. They're going to have their share of casual sex, though. They're going to have a very easy time getting casual sex from women. Okay, I'm not going to cover any more time. Again, I wanted to keep this under 40 minutes. I think I have. And a reminder to my Patreon subscribers, I have a Patreon exclusive live stream on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Join me there. Peace.